Hi YouTubers, my name is Kevin and you're watching the Royal We Nightly Discussions. Tonight I want to talk with you about waiting on toxic abusive narcissists and why it's so important that we stop waiting. We need to stop waiting for that reconciliation. We need to stop waiting to be accepted by the toxic dysfunctional family members. We need to stop waiting for a relationship that we've never been in and somehow think that in time that's going to change. We need to stop waiting. So if you are in this place right now where you find yourself waiting for something when it comes to a toxic abusive relationship, then this message is for you. In this message, we're going to talk about why I believe we find ourselves waiting an awful lot in these toxic situations. 2, we're going to talk about what waiting is. Now, I'm also going to hit on being patient because there's a difference between waiting and being patient. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And then finally, we'll talk about what you can do so that you will stop waiting. All right? So let's get started. Why do we find ourselves waiting in these relationships? And yes, even if you are hoping and kind of wanting for there to be some kind of a reconciliation conversation to go on or to be accepted in some way, then you are in a place of waiting. You're waiting for something that you've never received out of the relationship. And this needs to stop. So why do we do it? Why do we find ourselves in here? Well, one of the big things that I've been on lately is this whole principle and idea of false narratives and conditioning and how easily we are conditioned within our human nature and we are conditioned with false narratives. One of them has to do with, guess it? Who's going to say it? Who's going to say it? That's right, waiting. We have been conditioned with a lot of false narratives about waiting. How many right now with the show of hands can say, oh my gosh, I have heard hundreds and thousands of songs about waiting. Waiting for that lover. How about Richard Marx? Who could forget that Richard Marx song? Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you. Oh, I'll be the victim. I'll give up my life. I'll rot here while you do whatever you want. I mean, it might as well be what he's saying, right? Waiting. And then not only do we have the false narratives about waiting and how it's somehow virtuous and it makes us these really delicate, loving, it's so awesome, right? When we meet with those songs and they resonate and we're like, yeah, I'm waiting. Oh, I'm like Richard Marx, man. So not only does it do that, but we also have an answer. We have songs that answer in a very dishonest way. How many of you know Christina Aguilera? Listen to that, right? There's a song called What a Girl Wants and What a Girl Needs and whatever keeps me happy sets you free. Basically in the song she's saying, you let me do whatever the hell I want to do. And that's awesome. That's awesome. One of the lines in the song is, if you really love someone, let them go, and if they come back, they're yours. And that's how you know it's for real and it's for sure. So basically the narrative of this song, the conditioning is let them go experiment and play and do whatever they want to do. Let them do things without you, and then let them come back and say, you know what, I've decided I want you now. It's a second thought, really. You weren't my first choice, but I'm ready to give you more, especially if you accept me. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong on many different levels. Number one, why should you play second to somebody else's whatever they want to do? Right? What's that say about you and your worth? You're already allowing them to abuse you, to demean you, and to devalue you simply by saying, let me go and you wait. And if I come back, all right, then that's how you know I'll really be for you. But I just got to make sure. And it keeps you in a place of waiting. So we've been conditioned with these songs and things like this throughout the culture that condition us to be in this place of waiting. And it's a place of victimhood. And I believe this is the biggest reason why we find ourselves waiting in situations. We seem to believe there's a virtuousness to it. The false narrative of this virtuousness, this moral obligation of this horribly wrong false narrative that we have about waiting. Now, why is it so wrong? Right? What is waiting exactly? What's it saying? Now let's talk about what waiting is And the difference between waiting and being patient, because there is a difference. First of all, waiting takes you out of a present moment. Waiting is about time. It separates you from something else in a period of time. And it takes that whatever you're waiting for out of the present. And you're waiting for it to enter into the present because it's not even there. So for example, waiting on a relationship means that you're not even in a relationship. You're waiting on it. It's not even in the present moment. It doesn't exist yet. You hope, right? And there's all these you hope, yet, whatever, all these loose ends around this area that is non-existent. That's waiting. And how many of you know you can wait for a long time? And what does waiting for a long time look like? It looks like non-existence for a long time. Nothing happening. That's waiting. This is why it's so damaging. Now let's compare that to patience, because people compare and they oftentimes mix waiting and patience together, right? Sometimes they combine them. I'm patiently waiting. No. Let's separate them. Patience, on the other hand, unlike waiting, patience means you're actually in the present moment. You are in a present relationship. It's there in real time. However, you're delaying an aspect of that relationship. Whatever that relationship is. If you're being patient in a conversation, that means the conversation is happening, but you're delaying your part of the conversation. That's being patient. If you're waiting for a conversation to happen, that means that the conversation isn't even present. The conversation doesn't even exist. You're waiting for it. Do you see the difference? So this is why we need to stop waiting, because while you are waiting, you're in a place of non-existence. You're waiting for a toxic, abusive narcissist to reconcile with you. It's non-existent. It's not going to happen. You're waiting for that toxic ex to tell you that they really do care for you. It's non-existent because they don't. You're waiting for that family to finally receive you and accept you. Again, that family is non-existent. They're not your family. And so as you find yourself waiting, you are standing on a gap of time of something that doesn't exist. Period. Right? Now then, how do we stop waiting? The answer to that sounds simple, but it's not. The answer is to start living. Stop waiting and start living. And stop listening to those trash songs. I will be right here waiting for you. Get rid of it. Right? Don't pump your head full of that stuff. Start living now. Start being present now. Don't wait for something that doesn't exist. Live in the present moment. Be with the ones who love you and who you love, who are kind to you and who you are unkind to in return. Be with the ones who you can call family. Be with the ones who you can call friends. Be in this present and move on with your life. Be with your hobbies. Be with your gifts. Be with your talents. Be with everything that you are. Be with your voice. Be with your beauty. Be and do and stop waiting. Never wait again. Do you follow me? How many of you right now would say, Kevin, I'm with you 100%. And right now, we are going to make it a goal to not wait any longer. There will be no more waiting in our life. We're not going to wait for anybody. We're going to attack this life with everything that we've got for the rest of our days here. We'll be patient if we have to be patient, but we will not wait. If you follow me, say amen. Hit that like button and listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey. So visit www.jointheroyalwe.com where you can schedule a one-on-one time appointment with me. We can have a telephone consultation, a FaceTime consultation, or a text message consultation. Also, every Monday night is Royal We Live Chat. This is an opportunity for us to come together as a community. We ask questions, answer questions. You can even call in for free if you realize that you are live, of course. And then finally, the newest channel, which I'm super excited about, is Royal We Fellowship. This is every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Royal We Fellowship is a Bible study, unlike any other Bible study you've been a part of, because we are looking at the ancient literature from the perspective and the reality that the world is toxic and very narcissistic. And it's an excellent, excellent source. So this is every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Time. You can find the links to everything in the description box down below. So scroll on down. Scroll down there right now to the description box and find all the links. Instagram, Facebook, all the channels. And I'll be back with more videos right here on the Royal We.